the game.
Buried beneath every sports cliche, there's always some truth. Confetti skies, grown men's tears, the childhood dream comes true.
The Steelers are the Super Bowl champions.
Moments frozen in time forever. One picture, 1,000 words. The Cliff Notes version might be good enough for someone, somewhere, but you and me, we know better. This is about the big picture.
Reverses it, the pass goes into the end zone, and it is a touchdown by Nick Foles!
An unshakable commitment.
And the Green Bay Packers won the first ever Super Bowl.
Humble beginnings to unthinkable ends.
The greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.
The guarantee.
One of the great upsets of all time in professional sports.
A giant belief in the impossible.
Believe it, and it will happen.
Images played together, one after another after another. That's where you'll find the heart of this story.
Throwing in the end zone.
One kid's work ethic, the scouting report couldn't measure.
Touchdown, Jalen Hurts.
The third string, the last pick proving the world
The
wrong.
49ers back to the championship game.
Their journeys, their histories, every single moment up to this point. It's the 49ers and the Eagles one game away from the Super Bowl. Welcome to the NFC Championship, only on Fox.
Well, we could try to get you hyped by selling the story of Jalen Hurts, the MVP candidate who's gone 15-1 as a starter this season, plays in exciting fashion, and has the top-seeded Eagles hosting this game in Philly. Or better yet, we could talk about the ultimate underdog tale of Brock Purdy, the very last player taken in this year's draft. The rookie was forced into action because of two major injuries to guys ahead of him, and all he's done is win every game he's ever started. But the reality is that this game, in front of this crowd, brings all the hype you could ever want. It's the NFC Championship game, and it comes to you live from Philadelphia as the San Francisco 49ers take on the hometown Eagles and about 70,000 of their best friends. Or maybe we should say 69,000, because there are a heck of a lot of 49er faithful here as well. No matter, whoever wins goes on to play in Super Bowl 57. We'll have that game for you in just 2 weeks as well. But right now, it's the one and only Fox NFL Sunday pregame show presented by GMC and the all-new 2023 GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate. We are professional grade. Come on outside, stay a while, folks. Thank you for spending your championship Sunday with us. Right now, we are so happy to be here live in Philadelphia. But by the way, we should also make sure we thank Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan's new movie, Creed 3, is in theaters March 3rd. Right now, though, we've got a big matchup setting right here. You know both these guys from Fox NFL Sunday forever.
Movies,
right in the
primarily,
middle.
I'm known for
yes,
movies.
Yes, you are. But look at the man in the middle, Rob Gronkowski. He is here with us.
That's right.
All combined, 12 Super Bowl rings up here, 21 appearances in championship games. And, you know, this atmosphere right now, it's so different, Jimmy, than anything else you get during the regular season.
This is fantastic because these players and these coaches, the winner of this game lets them achieve part of a dream, and that dream is to go to a Super Bowl. Now, these guys may disagree with me, but I think losing this game, you know, I think that's harder on a coach and a player than actually losing a Super Bowl.
I don't agree with that. And I think you would agree with me. Losing the Super Bowl, unacceptable. You don't hardly get over that if you ever do. My first championship game, basically all of my championship games, I never sat down. I stood up the entire time on the sideline, and the only time I wasn't nervous was when I was playing. When I had to go to the sideline, then I got nervous.
That's exactly it. The week flies by, and then you get to these last couple of hours before the game, particularly this last hour. The moments leading up to the moment of first impact are always the most intense. Once you get hit, you're in a game. Yep. You're good to go.
Terry, I definitely agree with you because Jimmy Johnson, you never lost a Super Bowl before, so you don't know that feeling.
Easy, Gronk.
Losing in an AFC, NFC championship game is like getting your heart broken. When you lose a Super Bowl, it's like getting your heart ripped right out of your chest, Mortal Kombat style.
But relax, buddy, because you won quite a few. You never lost. I'm the only one that sits up here. I experienced both, too, Gronk. And I will tell you this, though. NFC championship game, I'd rather be in the Super Bowl and lose because at least you know what that atmosphere is like, and it gives you something to strive to get back to. But being here at home for NFC Championship game and to win in front of your home crowd is absolutely amazing. I've had a chance to do it at home, but I also had a chance to win on the road, which is even more incredible because you see the disappointment in the other team's fans' faces. So either way, winning to me is the bottom goal. Make it to the Super Bowl and just see where you go from there. I almost got under the desk.
The light posts have been greased in Philly.
I was planning on, dancing on one of those light posts later. So good thing they greased that up.
There may still be time, but this is why you want the championship games in the host cities. So you can have atmospheres like this, whether you're on the road and win or whether you're doing it in front of the home folks. Folks, we are just getting started here on Championship Sunday. A whole lot more is on the way.
Much more coming up as we're packing a punch from Philadelphia. Christina Pink is live from KC and connects with Bengals brash receiver Jamar Chase. He already took out Geno, didn't crack against Dak. Now Brock Purdy puts his sensational streak on the line against the Eagles. But first, he soaks in his success with our Aaron Andrews. There's lots of love in Philly for Jalen Hurts. He'll line up across from Michael Strahan ahead of the biggest game of his young career. We're crowning a champ later, so stay right here on Fox.
Adonis Creed.
You don't remember me, huh?
What happened with you two?
We was like brothers.
Donnie, you don't got it no more. I'm coming for everything.
You threatening me? Let go of whatever was and walk into what is.
Creed 3, rated PG-13, only in theaters March 3rd.
Ooh, the Chewy app. Clumping litter? Salmon pate? We have enough to splurge on catnip toys. I feel so accomplished. Pet me, please.
Great prices, happy pets. Chewy.
Hey, man, you could save hundreds for safe driving with Liberty Mutual. They customize your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Woo! We gotta go again.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
We're good? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's good? Thank you.
Dude, what are you doing? I'm protecting my car. That's too much work. WeatherTech is so much easier. Laser measured floor liners up here, seat protector and cargo liner back there. Nice. Out here, side window deflectors and mud flaps and the bump step to keep the bumper dent free. Cool. It's the best protection for your vehicle, new or pre-owned. Great. But where do I order? WeatherTech.com.
Heavy-duty pulling power. To conquer the high road or the off-road. The GMC Sierra Heavy Duty. Premium and capable. Step up to GMC with 3.9% APR for 5 years on Sierra Heavy Duty models. We are professional grade GMC.
Face of the league. Mr. Cool, calm, collected. An unflappable leader of men. The big question mark that looks more like the answer. We're so caught up in what we're watching.
Purdy. Are you kidding? Holmes now steps up in the pocket, throws wide open, touchdown!
Burrow throws it into the end zone for Chase. Touchdown!
He's going to score! Jalen Hurts!
We forget it's only been a few years since these quarterbacks were walking their high school halls.
Have a deep run in playoffs this year.
When their NFL dreams were still most likely twos. And sold-out crowds looked a little different.
One of the biggest crowds I've played against, and it was great having our fans come up here and support us.
Championship Sunday. It should make for a pretty good story at the 10-year reunion.
Well, the two quarterbacks in today's NFC Championship game combined are 47 years of age. the youngest combination ever in a championship contest. We welcome back to Philadelphia as we get you all set for the NFC title tilt here on Fox. We've got this game. Later on today is the Bengals and Chiefs. And so I'm going to look at all 4 teams playing here on Championship Sunday and ask you a few questions here. I just spit on answers. First come, first serve. Which quarterback do you want with the ball in his hands, needing a score to win the game?
Joe Burrow.
Joey Burrow.
You know, I think he's knocking on the door for sure, but I'd like Mahomes.
I do too. 15 fourth quarter comeback wins for Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes.
Joe Burrow throwing to Jamar Chase.
3-2.
I said Patrick Mahomes.
I know.
Joey Burrow. Comeback versus the Chiefs last year. And what about the comeback versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the regular season this year as well?
Which of these final 4 defenses would you rely on to get a stop at the end of the game when you need it?
The 49ers all the way. They got the best defense in the entire NFL.
San Francisco 49ers for me.
49ers ranked number 1. Philly's ranked number 2.
You know what? You can make the case with that secondary and that pass rush. It might be Philadelphia. End of game.
Which team's offense do you trust the most?
Ooh. I'm going to say Cincinnati.
Kansas City by a slight margin.
Cincinnati for me.
I'm going to go with Eagles, with Brown and Smith. You know what? And Hurts running and throwing. Yeah, I'm going to say Philly.
Kansas City. They've been there, done that before.
I'm surprised nobody took San Francisco. Hey, which defense is the most suspect?
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Kansas City by far.
Everybody agrees it's Kansas City. They're shaky.
They got a lot of young players they're dependent on there, and a lot of guys who are new to the team, haven't been there before, so Kansas City.
All right, so give me the single offensive or defensive line unit that you think is the most dominant.
Philadelphia Eagles offensive line.
Even with an injured right tackle.
Even with
Johnson,
an injured right tackle. So physical up front. Yep. They just kind of beat you up until you submit.
Held down by all-pro Jason Kelsey as well with the offensive line.
Maybe the most athletic center in football. Great matchup today.
All right, who has the best collection of weapons on offense overall?
Boy, you can make the case for you can make the case for Cincinnati. You can make the case for Philadelphia. You can make the case for.
That's why we asked the question.
I'm gonna go
case for everybody.
I'm gonna go Philadelphia. Brown. Smith. Goddard.
I would say 49ers.
I would say 49ers or. I think Cincinnati, man, they got 3 incredible receivers. You got Joe Mixon at running back. You got Burrow at quarterback. They're all-line little, mixed bag, but
everyone in Cincinnati is 25 or under.
Yeah. All right, so which team can best come back from a big deficit?
Kansas City Chiefs.
How about Joe Burrow, the ball in his hands?
Joey B.
All right. Let me ask you this one. Final question here for you.
I like Joe Burrow.
Which team has the loudest and best fans? Because we've got right here Philadelphia fans, but there's a lot of red jerseys here, and we know what Kansas City's about.
They don't grease the light poles anywhere else.
But I would tell you,
I'm not going to upset the Philadelphia fans, but I'm going to say Kansas City.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
I played in the AFC Championship in Kansas City. Let me tell you, it was the loudest stadium I've ever been to.
And when I played there and they said, in the home up, and they all yelled Chiefs, I had hair stand-up TV where I didn't know I had hair. It's Kansas City. I'm sorry.
Got a lot of great fans there, a lot of great fans here, including Philadelphia native. Well, he's down there. Kevin Hart talking to Joel Embiid of the Sixers. A little height disparity between those two.
My guy Mike Rubin hanging out with
as they get down there on the sideline. We are getting you set for a star-studded pregame show. Up next, we'll hear from the Bengals star receiver, Jamar Chase. Plus, Aaron Andrews has an interview with Brock Purdy, who's the star of the year. And later, Michael sits down with Jalen Hurts, the dual-threat quarterback looking to bring home Super Bowl title number 2 for this Philadelphia franchise.
All right, everyone, it's championship weekend. No one leaves this room until we come up with a catchy headline for the big game. Go.
Ooh, how about this? Where does it hurt? Eagles look to send Purdy Brock to drawing board.
I like it.
Brock rocks as Purdy play make birds pay.
Cincy Wincy, who they burrowing under my homes?
Okay, Brock, clock. Oh, Brock around the clock. Timer, Niner, Purdy.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. I don't have it.
Just keep it simple. No one wants to think.
Shut up! I got it. I'll be Brock. Pretty great game from Brock Kittle.
Chasing Jason as far as the eye can see. Debo says, oh no, as San Fran missed. The Kyle used check mark. Loss hurts pretty bad.
Really good.
Okay, you're all fired.
Why didn't they just use your line? He's pretty good. I figured they'd use that.
Oh, I knew we couldn't get through a show without it.
Not yet. We are here on the sidelines getting ready for the NFC Championship game. Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, the top seed, the #1 team all season long in the NFC. He's trying to get to his first Super Bowl in just his second year as a starter. But right now, let's talk a little bit about the AFC contest, because a lot of Bengals players this week made headlines before tonight's AFC title game by calling KC's Arrowhead Stadium Burrowhead Stadium, as Joe Burrow is a perfect 3-0 against the Chiefs. And that's not sitting well in Kansas City, where Christina Pink is standing by to cover this emerging rivalry. And Christina, I guess that underscores this Bengals confidence. They've won 10 games in a row as they ride the back of one of the best wide receivers on the planet.
Well, yeah, Kurt, and that wide receiver just so happens to always save his best against Kansas City. 3 career games, more than 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. And yes, the Bengals have a ton of weapons. They can pick you apart on offense. But when you're looking for the big play, there is nothing like the thrill of the chase.
This is what it's all about. Bengals are 9-0 when they score first.
Shotgun snap, short drop by Burrow. He throws it. Caught at the beginning. Chase straight ahead into the end zone. Touchdown.
So, Jamar, what a performance from you guys on the road. You set the tone early. How much fun was that for you?
I'm pretty much locked in. Straight tunnel vision, focusing on the game. You know what I'm saying? I want to win, and it doesn't matter who's in front of us.
You are already the Bengals' all-time leading receiver in the playoffs. It's just your second playoffs.
My expectations was high this year. Just coming in, just proving myself where I want to be at. And I'm always trying to be that person, trying to show people what I can do.
Burrow and Chase, that's a great connection. Hopefully they can stay for a long time.
You know Joe Burrow as well as anybody. Why is he so good in any elements, in any circumstances?
He'd always say that's when he's the most poised. You know, every time that he's got big-time game, that's when he steps up and be the real captain.
Well, you and Joe now have 5 playoff wins. This franchise had 5 playoff wins total before you got here. Do you feel like there's a culture shift?
For sure. You know, I could tell when I first got here. I could always hear the stories TB would tell me, Joe Mixon would tell me.
Sometimes.
I mean, yeah, we got you now, you know what I'm saying? You and JB. We had an unbelievable standard last year that we didn't know we set until we set it. And I think from here on out is the new standard for the Cincinnati Bengals.
To get to back-to-back AFC championships, what's been the temperature this week?
Like outside?
Mm-hmm. No, not the actual temperature.
I know it's going to be cold, that's all.
The temperature inside of the locker room and the temperature outside, too.
Everyone knows what's in store. We know what we have to do. Everyone's on the same page, and, you know, we all believe in winning.
Most guys wait their entire career to get to a Super Bowl. So have the chance to get to do it a second year in a row. How much does that mean to you?
Yeah, it means way more than it did last year. You know, it was a fun experience that whole year. It was a long season, so, you know, I enjoyed it. I mean, this time we're going to the Super Bowl and we're going to win.
Well, since we're talking about the temperature, for the record, it's 20 degrees right now, and we'll be in the teens just before kickoff. But, hey, the Bengals have been red hot coming into this game. And as for this rivalry, Jamar Chase didn't want to anoint it one just yet, but he did say, hey, they're the team that is in front of us. Now, over to Jay Glazer with the latest on Patrick Mahomes.
Well, Patrick Mahomes, Christina, as you know, has a high ankle sprain. And look, he, on Saturday night, after that game, that's when he started treatment. They were very aggressive with his treatment the entire week long, and as the week progressed, he got better and better. They said right now he has no limitations. The only issue is when he stops, he's going to feel pain, but he is fine. There is, however, a big question mark with the Chiefs right now. That's their tight end, Travis Kelce. The very last play of practice on Friday, he went up for a pass, his back locked up. They had to give him anti-inflammatories Friday, Saturday, and this morning, they still don't know if he can go. They've got to actually, they're naming him a game-time decision. But I was just talking to somebody on the Chiefs. They said, before we make a decision, we really need to see him run. And Gronk, here's a guy, they're holding their breath, and Travis Kelce, a guy who really never misses any action.
Jay, that would be an absolute shame if Travis Kelce cannot go today. Let me tell you a little bit about him. He is the most reliable guy on the offensive side of the ball in the whole entire NFL. He has not missed a game in 9 years. Whenever the Kansas City Chiefs need a play, he is always there to make it. And I talked to Travis yesterday, and I asked him what his mindset was like after the Tyreek Hill trade. And he told me that it was a whole new challenge in his career, and that how the offense was recreated in ways to make up for the production of Tyreek. So it would be a sad day if Travis does not go today. I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs can win this playoff game without him.
Yeah, and if the Chiefs are going to win this football game, they need to be better on defense. Michael talked about their young receivers. They're a problem. Jamar Chase, Kansas City struggles to play man coverage versus this team, and when they go to zone, they've struggled to tackle their receivers. And then you go to the run game, they struggle with tackling in the run game. Pass rush, Chris Jones is being doubled virtually every play versus Cincinnati. Watch today. Somebody else needs to step up.
Howie, the question was asked, what if Joe Burrow beats Patrick Mahomes for the 4th time? What does this do to Mahomes' legacy? Well, Patrick Mahomes has won a Super Bowl. He's been to 5 AFC Championship games, and he'll probably go into a bunch more. But I will say this, if Joe Burrow wins this game and then wins the Super Bowl, the question will be asked, who's the best young quarterback in the league? Not counting Hurts right here in this game. We've got some outstanding young quarterbacks. They're all great to watch. We're going to have great football for a long time.
Yeah, that'd be a decision or a discussion I wouldn't want to be a part of, because they're right. They're all outstanding. Joe Burrow, just so that, it's all about, as you heard Jamar Chase in that interview, it's all about culture change with your quarterback who comes in. You're looking at a Cincinnati Bengal team, their 53-year history of having won only 5 playoff games, none on the road. Burrow's done won 5. Is that correct?
Well, we're in Louisiana.
All right. Burrow's done won 5 already in 3 years. 2 of those, or 3 of those, I should say, have been on the road. There's Joe Montana. There's Joe Namath. And now there's Joe Burrow. And as far as I'm concerned, you can't separate them when it comes to heart, talent, boys, they have it all.
And I got to give a shout out to the unsung hero of being here in Philadelphia. The DJ is killing it out here right now, everybody at home. I'm at the desk like this, DMX. But anyway, I'm going to move on. Jamar Chase, one of the best receivers in the league, top 3 receiver in the league. The best game he had over his career was week 17 of last year, 11 catches, 266 yards and 3 touchdowns against who? The Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have played their best 3 games of the year, the last 3 games of this season. So I think if you think you're going to cover Jamar Chase, you got to worry about Higgins. You got to worry about Boyd. Then you got to stop mixing in the run game. This team is stacked offensively, and I think it's going to be tough for Kansas City to match up.
But Michael, the only thing, I don't recognize that song.
Well, we're not playing, 60s oldies, This is like...
Other than a Boys to Men, that's all Jimmy knows. You talked really about a culture change there, and that really is what has happened there in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow's only played 2 complete seasons. Remember, he blew out his knee his rookie season? They made the AFC Championship game both years with a chance to go on to the Super Bowl. We'll find out if a rookie can do it for the 49ers. Brock Purdy will try and get his team into the Super Bowl now that they made the championship game with Deebo Samuel in tow 3 times in the last 4 years. We'll talk about San Francisco in just a bit, and later, Michael will sit down with Jalen Hurts in only his 2nd year as a full-time starter. The 24-year-old QB is 1 win away from punching a ticket to Arizona for Super Bowl 57. And as we go to break, let's take a look at how one Arizona small business found a creative way to keep football fans energized leading up to the Super Bowl with help from Intuit QuickBooks.
Rocks.
1 win from going to the Super Bowl.
Play for the guy beside you. Play for this stadium. Play for everybody. Oh, what a catch by Kittle. Turn it up a notch. Kittle's got it in.
Floats it toward the end zone. Touchdown!
I did what I did because I had to. Accused is TV's #1 news show.
Mom just died. Her nurse was in charge of her meds.
We're gonna get through this.
She's evil. How do you not see it? I am trying to help you. I'm not crazy.
An all-new Accused, Tuesday at 9 on Fox.
It's time for Playoff Weekend Update.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you all so much. Last week, Fox NFL Sunday was parodied on Saturday Night Live. When asked for comment, Terry Bradshaw said he didn't see the show because, quote, I don't know what night it's on.
The Chiefs host the Bengals today in the AFC Championship game. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes is suffering from a high ankle sprain, which is also what they call it when Snoop Dogg has a regular ankle sprain.
The Eagles host the 49ers today in the NFC Championship game. In case of an Eagles win, the city of Philadelphia is already planning to grease their light poles to keep fans from climbing them. The source of the grease? George Kittle's hair.
Christian McCaffrey is nominated for Comeback Player of the Year. He's overcome a lot of adversity, such as multiple injuries, and playing for the Carolina Panthers.
Jalen Hurts is starting for the Eagles even though he is not 100%. What will be 100% is the Eagles fans' blood alcohol level.
They're already drunk. Opening this week is 80 for Brady, a movie about 4 80-year-olds who make a trip to see Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Hollywood is already working on a sequel, 8:30 for Purdy, a movie about Brock Purdy's bedtime.
And that brings us to a segment we call Brock Purdy Looks So Young.
Brock Purdy looks so young. When he got sacked in the last game, the refs called Child Protective Services.
Brock Purdy looks so young that at a post-game champagne celebration, he got carded.
Brock Purdy looks so young, when he got hurt, the team called in a pediatrician.
Brock Purdy looks so young, the 49ers didn't give him a contract. They gave him an allowance.
This has been Brock Purdy Looks So Young.
Now let's get back to the guys on the show so they can start playing a game of Jimmy Johnson Looks So Old.
They had to end with that shot. It was funny until then.
Taking a shot at me.
Hey, that Saturday night. You know, I'm a little fed up with that, Kurt. Give me the address of the dude that said that about me, because I'm going to his house. All right? We'll see how old I am.
We'll find out in the future, but one thing that we do know is this thing is already getting chippy here in Philadelphia. A.J. Brown, Jimmy Ward kind of walked past him, and Brown said, hey, you stay on your side of the field. These guys are feeling it right now as they get ready to play the NFC Championship game. We also know that it's starting to rain a little bit. And as we bring in Aaron Andrews, the elements might play a part in this game, but nothing will have as many eyes on it as the player Brock Purdy, who has been an incredible story all season long, at least the second half.
Yeah, you know what? There is good news. I'd like to report on the weather. At least Jimmy Johnson and his hair is covered. Forget about my weave. No one has interest in that. Let's get back to the real story, Brock Purdy, who told us this ride has been an absolute dream. Of course, a dream that started when he was the final pick in last year's draft. The title of Mr. Irrelevant given to a quarterback who has shown us all it's not how you start, but how you finish.
Yeah, so sort of just like hoping and praying that, man, my name would get called sometime during the day.
Buddy, this is John Lynch from the 49ers. We find you very relevant, but you are going to be Mr. Irrelevant.
The 262nd pick.
I'm part of that fraternity, you know, of being the last draft pick.
Francisco 49ers select.
It's something that, you know, I wear with honor.
Brock Purdy.
Oh, you're part of a different fraternity now, my friend. You never want to see a guy go down. It's part of the business. We know. Week 2, we see Trey go down. That moves you to number 2.
Yeah. Leading up to that Miami game, really, they would always tell me, like, man, you're taking the test every single week. I'm telling you, this team's going to need you at some point. We don't know when that is, and you might only get one shot at it. I want to ace it.
Jimmy goes down.
Yeah.
So now it'll be Brock Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant becomes extremely relevant now.
Purdy looks to throw. Touchdown, San Francisco.
We score. Great. Everyone's happy.
Brock Purdy off of the bench.
And I'm all right. Where are we at with Jimmy? How's he doing? And then he's done for the year. And so I'm like, man, that's crazy.
the final pick of the draft, leading the 49ers to the 33-17 win.
Well, and then let's talk about the next week.
Third straight quarterback is making his starting debut today, Brock Purdy.
Everyone obviously fell in love with you that day, but also your parents wiping away tears. What was that like when you saw the video?
Yeah, I was like, this is, surreal. Just to have my family there, my first start, to play against, Tom Brady and win. It was like a dream.
Good play, my man. You played great. Keep it up. Keep going.
My dad crying in the stands. My brother had his arm around my dad. For him, like seeing his little boy, grow up, all the work and the practice and everything we've done in our backyard, in the living room. I'm so happy for my parents that they get to experience this too.
Yeah, and you've kind of taken us on that journey. We've seen you after games go find them in the stands. What are you thinking about when you're going over to see them?
Yeah, I'm so thankful. Just all the little moments where people didn't see anything. Going to the park by ourselves, just me, my dad, my brother, just jogging up and seeing them in an NFL stadium after a win, and then hugging on them. It's like, it doesn't get any better than that.
Brock Purdy, you're a former Gatorade High School Player of the Year from Arizona.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl's in Arizona.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. We're focusing on one game at a time. Yeah. Don't want to get too caught up in the future, but it's cool. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that.
He can leave it at that, but what we're going to continue to say is this is wild, and it's been an absolute wild ride. I don't think any of us in the media can state it enough. He is one win away from a Super Bowl, going back to Arizona where he was brought up, and you want to talk about a guy that has a lot of swagger and confidence. His tackle, Trent Williams, who told us this guy, when you're around this young rookie, it just oozes out of his pores. No one wants to see anything coming out of my pores, but before we get to that, Terry Bradshaw, I know you had a chance to just meet this young guy, and he is here. He is in this hostile environment. How do you think he's going to do?
Yeah, I went out and watched him throw. I love watching the motion of these young quarterbacks. And I told him, hey, better spin it going to the right. That win will knock that ball down. He had a chuckle. It was just a nice visit. So good to meet this young quarterback. Both of these guys that are playing today are outstanding young men. Four rookie quarterbacks have started in the conference championship game. None has moved on to play in the Super Bowl. That's just that. But everybody up here, like these young quarterbacks, every one of them has a defining moment. And if you'll go back to last week's game against the Cowboys, Purdy went back. He found George Kittle on a completion to convert a third down. An unbelievable one-handed catch by George Kittle, kept the drive going, and went on and scored a touchdown. I would venture to say if the 49ers go into the Super Bowl and should win it even, that they can always look back to that catch by George Kittle.
Yeah, you talk about the catch by Kittle, but before you're talking about Brock Purdy. And look, as observers, we've all been impressed by Purdy. But can you imagine trying to stop him, Jay Glazer? I guess the people who are on the other side of the football are just as impressed by his play.
Well, the guy who just tried to stop him last week, Dan Quinn, Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator, talked to him last night. He said our entire game plan, we see how fast Brock Purdy can get that ball out, but we try to do a lot of fake coverages and try to really bait him into making rookie mistakes. You know how many rookie mistakes we bait him into making? Zero. We did not fool him one time, and as a result of that, when you talk to John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, the more they see him play games like that, they're not just looking at him as the starter for the rest of these playoffs. They're starting to think he could be their guy for next year as well.
But Grant, that performance was at home. Now it's in front of a hostile environment as a rookie.
Yes, Kurt. Brock, he was a 4-year starter in college. He played as a freshman. He has been in these hostile games before, especially in Week 15 when they played in Seattle. Coach Kyle Shanahan put it this way, that it was possible preparation for an environment like Philadelphia. Brock plays like a vet. He acts like a vet. Yes, the Eagles fans will be going bananas today, but Brock will not be fazed.
And, I literally, on the other side, he's got some nice weapons. Christian McCaffrey, what he's done since he's come to the San Francisco 49ers has been amazing. This team was 19th in scoring. Now they're second in the NFL since he showed up here in scoring. With Brock Purdy at quarterback, last 7 games, they're averaging 34 points a game. He leads all running backs in receiving yards, second in yards after the catch. Christian McCaffrey has been Mr. Everything, but what I'm most impressed about with him, his ability to run between the tackles. This is not a guy you just sweep left, sweep right, put in his hands in the passing game. He does it all. Very impressed with Christian McCaffrey.
Michael, when you had the success that Coach Kyle Shanahan's had, you're going to lose coaches to head coaching positions. And if you're going to be successful for a long time, you're going to elevate from within. That's what he did, when he hired, D'Amico Ryan and moved him up. And then on top of that, you've got to have the ability to identify up-and-coming young coaches. Kyle did this with Brian Griese. Brian Griese had never coached a down. He had been in broadcasting, but he brought him in, and Brian Griese said, hey, there's a young quarterback, a rookie, let's draft him, called Brock Purdy. He was instrumental in getting Purdy. Now he's coaching him.
Yeah, I think one of the things that helps Purdy in the San Francisco offense, they don't force him into being too much. He doesn't have to make the big throw too many times, 2-3 throws a game. It's the defense, it's the front seven, maybe the best in football. If there's a weakness, it's the back end. Kansas City had success, Seattle had success, and the Raiders had success. Can you block the front seven on play action passes? That's where the ball's going to go deep.
All right, we have covered the 49ers. We'll get you all set with the Philadelphia story as the Eagles are getting ready for action against this Niner team. Jalen Hurts sat down with our Michael Strahan. We'll cover that as we get you to the final moments before kickoff of the NFC Championship game right here on Fox.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Verizon, the network you deserve, the savings that last.
Gentlemen, welcome to Independence Hall, the Pennsylvania State House, where in 1776 the Declaration of Independence was written.
One moment, Mr. Franklin, if you could,
Yes.
please. Mr. Bradshaw, could you please refrain from talking until the end of the tour? Thank you.
I'm a Yankee Doodle Dan, Yankee Doodle do or die. A real live nephew of my Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July. I've a Yankee Doodle sweetheart, she's my Yankee Doodle joy. Yankee Doodle came to town just to ride the ponies. I am a Yankee Doodle boy.
That was fun. You combine the mascots for the 4 teams here. They may be best of any city. There's Scoop getting ready for a little action here. The party is just getting started as the Eagles and 49ers are just about ready for the NFC Championship game. And Michael, we mentioned a little bit earlier that you look at the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow's 2 full seasons, 2 championship games. Here in his 2nd full season, the kid, Jalen Hurts, has already not only gotten the Eagles into the title game, but he seems to have won this city over by being a tough guy.
He really has, Kurt. And for the outside world, Jalen Hurts, he seems very confident, almost borderline cocky. His own brother even described him as a robot. But when you spend some time with him, you realize he's built a shell around himself to protect himself from all the doubt he's had his entire football career. But that doubt is what fuels this young man, and it may fuel him all the way to the Super Bowl.
And we still did what? We still left money on the table.
You've had an incredible season. First of all, you're winning in the NFC Championship game. Yeah. But secondly, you are MVP finalist. A little bit of part of you that's celebrating that?
I never said where I'd be. I never said how far I'd go. I never ever put a limit on myself. There are no surprises. You know, there is no point where I'll just arrive. There's just the journey of it.
I find this hard to believe. Since high school, this is the first time you've been in the system 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
You've gone through so many changes.
Yeah, I think being able to take in all of that different coaching throughout the years, still be able to be productive. And it's been important for me because I've been able to take so much, kind of put it in my own little pot of gumbo, if you will.
But you have gone through a lot.
Yeah.
Get benched at Alabama. Even after starting last season, like all the doubt in your young 24 years, he can't do this and he can't do that. How would that made you who you are today?
You know, I think it's been that way for a long time, and I don't want it to change.
You want people to doubt you?
I don't want it to change. You know, I learned to embrace the hate. It gave me fuel, you know what I'm saying? It inflicted pain on me for sure, but that pain was my strength. I had a mentality moving forward, you know, regardless of what it is. I just kind of come with it.
It's your demeanor.
Yeah.
Anything can happen and you just sit back and be like, oh, that's cool. Unfazed by any of it, man.
He lets him fly. Another touchdown!
I think I've been able to experience things that have been able to mold how I view certain situations, and, you know, I'm able to kind of stay focused on what's important to me.
He still left the money on the table. He still left the money on the table.
You're one game away. 49ers are in front of you. When does your demeanor change a little bit?
I can't tell you what'll happen.
You can smile.
I can't tell you what can happen. Catch me after the game. Let's see.
How much money left on the table?
Got a lot on there. We don't want to leave none, though. We want to go out there and attack them. It's a really good team we're about to play.
Fire. Touchdown.
We're not satisfied. I'm not satisfied. And I think that's a mentality that kind of seeps through the entire building.
Well, I hope you keep collecting this cash for the next few weeks, man.
And when Jalen Hurts talks about money on the table, what he means is what we're doing now is great, but what's next is more important. And what's next for him is winning the NFC Championship and advancing to Super Bowl 57. And when you look at everything that he's gone through, I believe that it all prepared him for this moment. He's been preparing to play in these big situations his entire life, TB.
Yeah, what I read from that great interview, man, I love listening to him. What I got out of that was this. He's got a big old chunk of wood on his shoulder. He's something he's carrying around. He doesn't want to get rid of it. He wants that chip to stay there because that gives him his edge. That gives him his comfort. All quarterbacks, young, old, whatever, we all strive to find that one place we can go to in the eye of the storm where we're most comfortable. And I think you got that from Jalen Hurts in that interview right there. The kryptonite, I believe, for the 49ers defense is the deep pass. And I think today that will be the difference in this game. If which quarterback is unflappable would mean basically which one ends up what? Flapping?
But if you're going to get to Brown and you're going to get to Smith with the deep ball, to me, it all centers around what I think is the best offensive line in football. It's Mailata at left tackle, Johnson at right tackle versus Bosa. It's Kelsey in the center versus Greenlaw and Warner, the two inside backers, who I think this is best on best. If they can't run the football, they can't get the ball downfield. That's going to decide the game. This offensive line and Philly's defensive line will determine whether they win this football game.
Yes, everyone was talking last week that A.J. Brown was being a diva on the sideline. Let me tell you, he was not being a diva. You want your star players wanting the ball to make plays. That is 100%. He is confident and ready to go. And now that game is in the past. And if the Philadelphia Eagles want to move on, if they want to win this game and they want to win the Super Bowl game next week, they better put that ball in the hands of A.J. Brown and let him do his magic.
Hey, how about this crowd now? They're about to get cranked up. And when Philadelphia hits this field, I think the 49er fans, they're back inside getting warm because it's 99% green looking into the stands. And you know what? This could be intimidating for a quarterback, much less a rookie quarterback. And as far as just the game itself, it really helps the defensive pass rush. It helps the home team. It really hurts the visiting team as far as their cadence. Yeah, I think if Philadelphia can get a lead, this crowd will go crazy, and it'll be even more intimidating than what it was at the start.
As athletes, we do feed off of the crowd.
Oh, without question.
But it's crazy. Philly was my favorite place to play because I love getting screamed at. They throw stuff at you. motivated me. So if the 49ers can pull some motivation from the hate, as we see Jalen Hurts said that he does for his performance, then I think this is going to be, this should be one of the best games that we've seen in a long time.
In front of one of the best atmospheres that we have seen. But one thing is, you want good health going into this game. So who is in and who is out? Geico will help Jake Glazer tell us that.
Well, look, Howard was just talking about that offensive line and Lane Johnson. I talked to him this morning, and he said, look, all that my groin, how much it healed during those couple weeks that I had off. Well, I actually re-tore the groin last week against the Giants. He said, but I just have to deal with it. Today, there's no time for me to worry about it. I've got to just block the pain out all game long. As far as the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey, he had a calf contusion. They held him out of practice earlier in the week. He is 100%, no limitations at all. However, his running back mate, Elijah Mitchell, groin injury, out today.
All right, that could be interesting. They just called up Tevin Coleman to wind up playing in this game as well. By the way, there's big news for you at home getting ready for this contest. The Fox Bet Super 6 will not only give you $100,000 if you win it today, it's also giving away an SUV for a chance to win. All you have to do is download the free app, answer 6 questions about today's NFC title game, and you can win.
Not my SUV.
Your SUV and your $100,000, but it'll be theirs if they win it.
So I have $100,000.
Yes.
Still.
Talk about winning. We know who's playing in this game. We know who's in the AFC Championship. I will ask you simply, who is going to the Super Bowl, starting with you, TB?
I'm going with the home crowd, Philadelphia Eagles, and they will play the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mike's right. This is going to be a great game. That game in Kansas City is going to be great, but I'm going Philly, and I'm going Kansas City, 2 home teams.
Well, you know what? It's hard to win here in Philly, a young quarterback on the road. I'm going to go with Philly. But I'm going to go with Cincinnati. I think that these guys are going back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm going Philadelphia against Cincinnati. I think Mitchell being out for the 49ers, I think that hurts you on the short yardage goal line. Yeah, Philadelphia against Cincinnati.
All right, Sean Payton is out. Gronk will make his pick for him.
Yes, Coach Payton is too busy looking for a head coaching job right now, everyone. So, Coach Payton, he told me he's going with the San Francisco 49ers versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, we will find out who goes from the NFC. The San Francisco 49ers, the Philadelphia Eagles. Kickoff of the championship game is next.